So correct, Mandalorians are widely known to be the greatest warriors. Without their equipment though, they wouldn't have gotten such a reputation. In fact, their weapons and armors are equally as responsible as the skills for gaining the reputation of the greatest warriors in the galaxy. In this video I will cover all of this with a huge focus on legend material, starting with the Mandalorian Crusader armor. The Crusaders were the first documented type of Mandalorians in the galaxy. They were established by Mandalore the first leader of all Mandalorians, sometime after 20,000 BBY, and the exodus of tongue species to the planet of Mandalore, or in Mandora, Manda Shaem. Mandalorian Crusaders wore armor categorized as either combat suits or battle armor. Each warrior customized their suits of armor internally and externally to serve their preferences. As a result of that, each suit was unique to each Mandalorian wearing it. External appearance of Crusader armor was often organic, with the hard parts of the armor decorated with spikes and straps. Plus, the Crusader armor was airtight and included enough oxygen for a Crusader to have 10 hours worth of breathable air in the vacuum of space. Neo-Crusader armor on the other side was a standardized issued armor being colored to correspond with the position of the wearer. The armor of the Neo-Crusader shifted as such from the highly customized individual armor of each Crusader to a more militarized combat gear with distinct colors. A concept similar to how the clones have the same type of armor but with different paint jobs, symbolizing a different legion. At the bottom of the hierarchy are recruits and anyone not having a leadership position with blue colored armor. Rally masters were above recruits and wore a distinct crimson red suit. Next up in the hierarchy is a golden suit that was handed out to field marshals only. The Neo-Crusader armor had a few advantages over the earlier Crusader armors, and one of those is a harder surface. Then there was also another set of armor for Neo-Crusader shock troopers. They were a unique variant of Neo-Crusader armor which was more heavily standardized than most earlier Mandalorian armor types, and came even with their own separate hierarchy. The Mandalorian Neo-Crusaders already used Beskar. They also guarded the secret of producing it into armor from the rest of the galaxy in order to not lose such an important and tremendous advantage. However, the process of forging Beskar was so long and tedious that not every Neo-Crusader was able to get some in time for the wars during that time. The current style of Mandalorian armor is usually crafted with Beskar and some other material, for example dual steel, to dye the armor or add additional metal if not enough Beskar is available for the armor. The amount of Beskar dictates the armor's effectiveness against blaster shots. If little Beskar is incorporated into the armor, it is very likely to be destroyed and let blaster shots hit its wearer. Though the same goes the other way around. A pure set of Beskar is indestructible. No amount of physical force, blaster fire or even a lightsaber can hope to destroy or even scratch it. However, due to the millennia of warfare conducted by Mandalorians and the Empire, taking all of the Beskar by the time of the Mandalorian series, creating a new pure armor of Beskar became much more difficult to achieve. The Mandalorian armor consists of the iconic helmet with a T-shaped visor, a breastplate, shoulder pauldrons, vambraces, a codpiece, knee pads, thigh and shin guards. Those different armor pieces are in turn worn over a body stocking. The helmet possesses, apart from its protective feature, also a variety of different technologies. The helmet has inside an integrated macro-binocular viewplate, which is the T-shaped form behind the metal of the helmet. A tactical heads-up display, or HUD in short, functioning as a visual and combat aid, is usually integrated within the viewplate. An example for the HUD is seen in the game Republic Commando, and to be more precise, the different helmet visual mods of the Republic Commando helmet. Another attachment for the helmet is an antenna with a rangefinder. A rangefinder zooms in on distant objects and provides a dynamic visual data readout based on the observed item for the user. Not only the helmet has so many features though, but also the vambraces. Within the Mandalorian vambraces is room for a ton of weaponry being controlled by a computer. However, those were only invented and used by the Mandalorians within their armor design after they encountered the Jedi and their Force abilities on the battlefield. A pair of vambraces is equipped by standard with a flamethrower to keep their enemies at a distance and a whipcord thrower to capture an enemy, for example. Though this aspect of the Mandalorian armor is one of high customization, and every Mandalorian can add or replace attachments as needed. As such, wrist lasers, wrist rockets, shield emitters, retractable wrist blades, Camino saber darts, repulsors and whistling birds can be added by each individual Mandalorian, and many more newly invented gadgets if a Mandalorian sees a need herefore. The Mandalorian weaponry had a similar evolution like that of our human history and went even further. At first, the original Mandalorian species, the Tong, fought with melee weapons like swords, spears and also their fists against the enemies. But over time and as technology evolved, the Mandalorians also used guns like blasters and blaster rifles, grenades, their vambraces gadgets, jetpacks equipped with missiles and even basilisk war droids which acted as their mounted artillery to fight against the enemies. But due to the influence of the Tong, they don't rely solely on modern weapons. They train in melee combat with a variety of different weapons and also their bodies. The mentality behind their excessive knowledge and training with all kinds of weapons and fighting styles is the following. Blasters can run out of ammo, jam or break. Your vambrace weapons can be used up or destroyed in combat. Melee weapons can break or made unavailable in immediate combat. So, what else is there to fight the enemy right in front of you, which can never be taken from you by anyone? Your own body and your fists. Despite the advanced weapons technology of blasters, witch flamethrowers, jetpacks and many more, the Mandalorians still rely on such primitive fighting styles. The reason behind this is that the Mandalorian's fighting skills is not represented by his armor, equipment, blasters or melee weapons. His skills in combat are represented by how he handles his weapons, what he can turn into a weapon and use against his enemies, and how he himself becomes a deadly weapon when there's nothing else. As such, all of the training with literally every type of weapon and this mentality serves to prepare and adjust a Mandalorian for combat in every form and in every situation possible so that he can be victorious. And that concludes the armor and weaponry of the Mandalorians. I hope you liked my video. Retour jamais!